If you stand on a platform in the Japanese railway system, a network that handles millions of passengers a day, you will quickly notice the train conductors doing something that looks entirely ridiculous. Instead of just operating the controls, the conductors perform a series of exaggerated, theatrical gestures. They will point directly at a speedometer, point out at the tracks, and call out the train's status to an entirely empty platform. Japanese rail authorities engineered this protocol specifically to mitigate human error. Known as pointing and calling, the system requires conductors to manually verify everything from the exterior hardware on the train cars to the color of the signal lights. And the data behind this practice is staggering. When transit employees point at objects and call out their actions, errors drop by up to 85%, and workplace accidents fall by 30%. This statistical miracle works for a very specific neurological reason. Pointing and calling takes an action you do thousands of times a day without thinking and drags it completely back into the light of the conscious mind. To understand why we need to drag behaviors into the light, you have to look at the brain's default state, automaticity. Your brain consumes a massive amount of calories, so it aggressively looks for ways to save energy by turning repetitive tasks into automatic routines. Psychologists divide human cognition into two modes. System 2 is your slow, effortful thinking, the mode you use to solve a difficult math problem. But System 1 is fast, instinctual, and low energy. This is where your habits live. You rely on System 1 all the time. It's the reason you can tie your shoes while having a conversation, or drive your entire morning commute without actively remembering the individual turns. But this incredible neurological efficiency has a dangerous side effect. By the time we reach adulthood, we have automated hundreds of negative behaviors. We reach for a phone the second it buzzes, or slouch in our desk chairs, entirely non-consciously. You cannot conquer a habit if you are completely blind to the fact that you are doing it. Raw awareness is the only way to disable the autopilot. This brings us to the first law of behavior change: make it obvious. To apply this at home, you first have to create a map of your current behavior. You need to pull your invisible routines out of the background and into your conscious view. To do this, behavioral designers use a diagnostic tool called the habit scorecard. It's a simple inventory system designed to catch your brain in the act. Take a piece of paper and write out your exact morning routine chronologically. List every single action, starting from waking up, checking your phone, going to the bathroom, brushing your teeth, right down to locking the front door. Next, evaluate each item. If a habit aligns with your long-term goals, like drinking a glass of water, give it a plus sign. If it actively works against you, like scrolling social media in bed, give it a minus. If it's a neutral biological necessity, give it an equal sign. The scorecard acts as a psychological X-ray. It strips away the comfort of automaticity and forces your non-conscious behaviors into the light of conscious evaluation. And this brings us back to the crowded subway platforms of Tokyo. Amidst all the noise and motion, that conductor maintains a highly deliberate stance. You can scale this exact mechanism down to manually override your own bad habits. By physically pointing at an object and speaking out loud, you force an automatic urge to route through your brain's conscious, verbal, and motor centers simultaneously. It guarantees your System 2 thinking is engaged. Take one of those negative items for habit scorecard. The next time you feel the urge to do it, literally point at the object and state the consequence aloud. Point at the junk food and say, "I am about to eat this, and it will make me feel lethargic." Hearing your own voice name a bad habit creates a sudden, undeniable spike in self-awareness. It acts as a circuit breaker for your neural autopilot. The immediate goal of pointing and calling your own life is not actually to force yourself to stop the behavior in that exact moment. The goal is to interrupt the seamless flow of the behavior. We repeat bad habits because they are frictionless and easy, but stating a negative action out loud ruins the mindless satisfaction of the behavior by layering on a moment of conscious realization. Real, lasting behavior change does not start with white-knuckling your willpower or buying expensive organizational tools. Instead, it begins with raw, hyper-vigilant observation. Before you can alter the trajectory of your health, your finances, or your career, you first have to recognize what you are actually doing minute to minute. You have to become the vigilant conductor of your own daily routine deliberately pointing out the actions you usually sleepwalk through. Because once you finally see your habits with the same objective precision as the Shinjuku conductor, you are finally equipped to change them.